Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is time for another challenge over at the Jaded Blossom blog. This time we need to use stripes. So today I'm using Batty For You stamp set along with the large glasses dies, our Octagon Treat Box Halloween add-ons, the Octagon Treat Box die, our pumpkin picking stamp set, along with our cloud stencil. I can't remember if I mentioned our border dies too. There we are. And I'm also using our sentiment strip dies. So I did put together that bat, and I've done that on previous videos, so I didn't go about showing you how I did that. I'm using My Favorite Things, the neutral dot stripe, along with Simon Says Stamp Holographic Rainbows A2 size cardstock, and Doodlebugs dot stripe and gingham linen in the rainbow petite prints. Now I'm pulling out my waffle flower stencil mat. This is a new purchase actually. And I'm going to be doing some ink blending. So I went ahead and I grabbed a piece of white paper tray ink cardstock, and I just cut a strip that is 1/8 of an inch less, or 1/8 of an inch smaller than a horizontal A2 size card. And I used the cloud or the border dies too, this cloud die to cut, a cloud border into it. And then I'm taking the Villainous Potion Distress Oxide ink and a blender brush. And I'm just going to add some of those stencil some clouds on there. So making my own pattern paper, basically, right? And nothing crazy. I do love the stitching of our border dies too, though. I think it adds something. There we go. And I'm just going to ink blend from the edge in. And then that is going to be my clouds. I am going to go ahead and stamp a sentiment onto that white paper tray ink cardstock. And I'm using VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink, and I'm using that Batty For You stamp set. And I'm actually stamping Batty For You. So, easy peasy stuff. Using my Misty. And then I will cut this sentiment out with our sentiment strip dies. So, like I said, easy stuff. I'm going to use that size of strip. I always keep the relief piece just so I can use it to line up exactly where it so it lines up perfectly. So I just keep that in my package. I'm going to tape that in place. I will add that little sentiment strip die. And then I'm going to run that through my Gemini machine. All my die cutting today was done with my Gemini machine. And I always use a bamboo skewer to poke out my dies. So this is a piece of paper tray ink black cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 inches to give you a horizontal A2 size card. I'm adding a piece of Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock, 4 by 5 1/4 inches to the inside. So easy stuff. On the inside, I'm adding some of that dot paper. It's 1 inch wide. So I'm adding that to the inside of the card using my, Stampin' Up pad to just kind of line that up. Now I'm taking a piece of paper tray ink. It's called Amethyst Allure, and it's just like 1/2 inch wide. And I just, cut a strip. I'm going to add that to that dot paper. And I will cut off the overhang with a pair of scissors. So, pretty easy stuff. There we are. So now I'm taking our, those large glasses dies, and I did cut a couple of layers out of scrap paper. It might have been, one might have been paper tray ink, one might have been Nina Solar White. And then I did cut the top layer out of that holographic rainbows A2 sized paper from from Simon Says Stamp, which is fun. And I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. And like I said, I'm just trying to give these glasses a little bit more weight. And then I will, put an acrylic block on there and weigh them down so they stick well together. And there you go. So now this is a piece of paper from that, My Favorite Things dot stripe neutral 6-inch pad. And I just cut a piece that was, like I said, 1/8 of an inch smaller than the 5.5 inches wide. And I had this piece left over because, and I decided not to cut it down because I'm going to use those clouds to, cover up the edge there. So there we go. I realized that I did this backwards, so I will do some fancy trimming to turn my card around. Because, these things happen, right? I meant to have those clouds on the bottom, but like I said, these things happen and you can fix them. I just cut the card in half again, and I, got a new card base and added the, the inside and the outside to it again. So it was simple. You can always fix your mistakes, so no getting excited about that. So there we are. And I am trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm not liking where the clouds are, so I do flip it around. So now there we have it. So I'm going to add my little bat to this card. But first I cut out some bat wings again in black, and I'm going to stick those down to the back of this bat. Now, you don't need to do this. This is just my craziness. I hate it when the back of a card has things overhanging it and it doesn't match the card base. So this is just crazy me. So I'm pulling out, like I said, my art glitter glue, and I'm going to add these bat wings to the back just to cover that up. It'll also give them a little bit more strength, as these are elements hanging off the card base. And, you know, they can get caught, so it's always good to have a little bit of weight. Now, with that adorable bat, I did cut that out of Doodlebug's purple cardstock and their Rainbow Petite Prince gingham linen. I used the gingham side for that the little headpiece there. Isn't that cute? American Crafts black cardstock for the mouth and the little eyes. And I did use paper tray ink white cardstock for the whites of the eyes. So now I'm going to pop up this bat. And I'm using my 3M foam tape. I did use, what was I going to say? I used a Secure White Jelly Roll pen in a number 10 just to add some highlights to this guy. So I'm just making a fast card. Now, so I'll talk about our challenge over at the Jaded Blossom blog. So all you have to do is to use stripes on your card. You have to use at least one item from Jaded Blossom, and then you can enter your card on the Jaded Blossom site. We would love to see what you come up with. You have until you have until so the challenge starts on the 2nd, and it goes until the Saturday before the next challenge. The challenge always starts on the first Sunday of every month. So that's basically what's going on. So we would love to see what you come up with. And remember, a winner wins a free stamp set. So that's always fun, of your choice, right? So now I'm just making sure that everything's popped up equally. And then I will add my little bat to the front. Isn't that cute? Just too cute. And see, it's all black in the back because, you know, I'm crazy that way. And then I did go ahead and I cut out some bats using our Halloween dies and our Halloween banner dies. And those are cut out of Doodlebug's dot stripe. I used the dot side, just in a matching purple. And I'm just layering up that Batty For You stamp set, or not stamp set, that Batty For You sentiment. And I will pop that up on the front of the card base, overlapping that bat. So I'm just going to add those little mini Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I'm just making sure everything's nice and flat. And then I will use some art glitter glue just to add another layer there. And then I will use that to stick down on this bat. I just wanted to make sure it doesn't dip at all, you know, with pressure. But that's just me being Leanne's being her crazy self, right, with the card. So there we are. So I'm going to add a little bit of art glitter glue. And I'm using my reverse tweezers to get my fingers out of the way. And there you have it. So now I have some bats. The big one is, like I said, is from our Halloween dies. And I'm going to pop that up using Stampin' Up! Dimensionals in the upper right corner of the card. And, you know, like I said, easy stuff. And then I'm going to do the same, but I'm using the little or actually I'm just going to trim down some larger ones to go on the back of these two little mini bats from the Halloween banner dies. So same dot stripe paper from Doodlebug. And then I will take a secure white Jelly Roll pen in a number 10 and add, you know, a few little highlights to those bats for fun. And I do pull out my black glaze pen too from Secure White Jelly Roll from the Secura family, you know, the black glaze. And I do dot some eyes on these bats in a bit. So now I'm going to add on these adorable glasses, perfectly kind of like a rainbow holographic look, right? Nice and shiny. There we are. Now, I can't remember, did I mention I used Nouveau Crystal drops on the little pupils to add little highlights? There we are, and I'll weight that down. Now I'm going to pop out, I did use our banner dies, and I used the little tiny stars, and I cut out 3 from that same holographic paper from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to pop those up with some dimensionals as well. Just trying to decide where they go, you know, visual triangle and all that jazz, right? And then this would be perfect for a little kid. I find these Octagon Treat Box dies, the layers, the layers for these things are just the sweetest ever, I think. So there, and we're going to add that last little, isn't that cute? Just adorable stuff. Now on the inside, I'm going to add that little bat, because I cut an extra one out, right? Might as well. That's from that Halloween dies. I'm going to add that to the lower right, sort of overlapping my little strips of paper. And then I'm going to add 2 sentiments to the inside. One is from that Pumpkin Pickings. That's going to be Happy Halloween. I'm going to stamp that in VersaFine Clair and Nocturne ink on that strip of paper from Paper Tray Ink, that Amethyst Allure. I'm using my Misty to do that. And then I'm going to stamp the You're Just My Blood type, and that's from that Batty For You stamp set again. I just thought that was kind of fun. So I'm going to stamp both of those sentiments. Remember, you're better off stamping it more than once and lightly pressing than pressing hard. You're going to squish those letters and make them fatter than they should be. Much better to just, repeat stamp lightly. So there we are. So not too bad so far. So I'm pulling out, like I said, that black glaze pen to add some pupils, some little dots for eyes on these guys. And it's nice, the black glaze pen, it adds a little bit of dimension too, which is kind of nice. There. And I'm pulling out, like I said, that Secure White Jelly Roll pen in a number 10, like I said. And adding a few highlights to that too. So, like I said, these Octagon Treat Box dies and like the Halloween add-ons for those are truly sweet and perfect for cards for little kids, I think. What little kid wouldn't like, although what adult wouldn't like this card? It's just too funny. But little kids especially, I think, would just love this. And not only that, if you cut the pieces for these, they could definitely build these themselves and have a great time doing it. It's kind of like paper dolls, right? They can put them together and, come out with a cute product in the end. There we are. So kind of cute. I kind of dabbed some Secure White Jelly Roll pen and number 10 in white, and then I added black dots for their eyes. And that is all. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, the Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on these products, and come and play along with this latest challenge. We would love to see what you come up with. Thanks for watching, and we will see you soon in my next video. Bye, everyone.